Alright y'all, this is DJ Bob, and I am gonna walk you through Bob's host kit for today. This is exclusively for the version 0.3 of the alpha test. This means that not all of the features are in there, not all of them work. There are some things that are broken. I'm working on fixing those. In fact, probably in the morning I'm going to start working on version 4, so this will be out of date pretty quick. So I'm going to try to treat it as an overview so that you guys can start using it and start playing with it and let me know how it feels, what you want added, what doesn't really work, what needs improvement, that kind of stuff. Just please do let me know, whether that's a message in Discord on our Purge server, which I'll link the Discord in the video description here, or in World. Be careful though, I'll be better off with a note card than I am with random messages, because those do get capped. I try to send them to my email, but I forget about email. Alright, so first of all, when you get the alpha box from Bob, you will get this alpha box right here. You just add. When you add it, it hits your screen. You just accept, and you can delete or detach that portion. It'll create a new folder for you with the same name as the item itself. Inside, you're gonna have just a few things. You're gonna have the alpha hosting kit itself, the link to the manual, which I'm going to put into the hood. It'll be a part of your administration button once I set that up. That'll be in version 4. 0.04. After that we have an updater, which is not working great yet, so we might rethink how that's done for version 4, but we'll see. The dance controller and the tip jar. The tip jar is going to be replaced with a more commercial tip jar, potentially. And the dance controller we'll talk about a lot more once we talk about the dance features. If you just right click and add, you're going to get the host kit popping up, and it's going to configure itself. And before we get looking in the insides, let's start just up here. So the general idea behind this kit is that it takes the administration, the note card shuffle, the organization, and just plunks it into an easy to use little box that reads it for you and keeps track and pulls up the information when you want it. So the first set of buttons up at the top are going to be your quick shout for your venue. When you set up your quick shouts, it's going to be things that you use a lot. Thanking people, reminding them to tip the DJ, reminding them to tip dancers, reminding them to look for applications, like just the stuff that your venues typically want you to be talking about for them. And then these next 5 buttons are going to be the ones for your DJ. These are configured with your DJ note card. Each venue that you work for and each DJ that you work for is completely customizable, so what's important for that venue can be focused on, and what's not can be just left off. This next button over here is the radar. I have a lot of tweaking to do with the radar. It's a little busy right now, but I'm trying to make it so that you can tell the difference on radar ping between someone leaving chat range by walking away versus leaving chat range by just poofing off sim. If somebody poofs off sim, it'll read that they've left, and if they're walking away, it'll read that they've moved further away, so that way you can kind of keep better tabs on who is here and who is leaving without having to have your eyes on everything. And then this next button floating over here is the shrink button. This is my copy. This is the one that I use like when I am hosting. So it's got some like specific things configured for me, and a couple of the note cards are out of date. So we'll just continue using the full release of the V.03 for my example. This gets it out of the way so you can see more of your screen, can pop it back up when you're ready to use it. This button down here is your administration button. It handles, we haven't implemented color picking yet. Eventually you'll be able to pick what colors you like, make it, fit your vibe. But that's just a skin for you to see. That doesn't affect your user base there. The debug is the most important button when it comes to this alpha, because shit's gonna be broken. I'm gonna need to fix a lot of things. We're gonna need to tweak how things work. We're gonna, optimize and tweak and optimize and tweak for a while here. I'll probably be going into beta looking maybe mid-February. And that'll be like I'm feature complete and we're happy with the way everything works, and now I just need to make sure that it doesn't break. And once we're sure that there isn't going to be any like constant breaking, I'll finally release it to full like grid. As far as testing it, if you're interested in testing and you aren't a part of the testing group, just reach out to me. I'm Bob the Almighty Zoo. When you encounter an issue, please turn on the debug, and then in your local chat you're gonna see and then in your local chat you're gonna see a whole bunch of just chatter. Please copy all of it, just everything, because all of this chatter is the scripts working in the background, and I can tell much easier what went wrong if you just give me a little description of what went wrong, plus all of the debug information. Make sure to repeat what you were trying to do, so if something's wrong, turn on debug, try to do the thing. If it works, great. If it doesn't, send me that debug log information so that I can adjust the code accordingly. I'm going to go ahead and turn it off for now because it is a lot of chat spam. Refresh. Sarah tried to use it last night and it didn't work very well. It is supposed to reset the scripts, and it didn't seem to do that. It seemed to just reload the note card configurations, which, I mean, that's a useful button, I guess. And then this last button is cheat sheet. So whatever venue and whatever DJ note cards are active, if you click cheat sheet here from this button, it will give you those note cards into your inventory. You can read them that way if you like, but I'll show you an even easier way to kind of access everything. The venue button is how you select who you're working with and for. Right now we've just got a smattering of clubs that I work with, but we'll increase that as we kind of grow our reach and more hosts kind of sign on and help out with creating just a whole network of these baseline note cards. We're just gonna pick one. I'm gonna pick Purge since I'm at my house right now. And then I'm gonna pick Bob because I'm Bob. It's gonna take about 20 seconds or so to load. Oh, we have an error. Stack heap collision. So that is related to how my scripts are set up. That is something that I'm going to be trying to fix tomorrow. Let me try and load a different combination of cards and see if it's still stack heaps. And honestly, I just realized I need to reset the scripts to wake that one back up. Okay. Alright, so this time it loaded without the stack heap collision. Alright, so Club Purge and DJ Bal are selected from the venue menu. I can toggle this button right here and it'll set reminders. Inside of our note cards, we can configure how often those reminders happen. It is per venue. And then it will also, at about 10 minutes to halftime, warn you that you should be sending out your notices for halftime. If your sets are only 1 hour long, it is supposed to remind you close to the half an hour mark. I'm still working on getting that timing exactly right, so again, tweaks are needed. I will be fixing that in the next iteration of the hood. But it helps kind of give you that ping. What I like to do is set my Firestorm preferences. Right. So Firestorm preferences, keyword alerts, and then I just set my name there. And the hood likes to use your name when it says things out loud in the local chat for you as kind of like a ping. We have a suggestion to incorporate an actual sound, to have an alert inside of the hood. That is a future feature that I would love to include. We gotta work out the kinks in this version before I go adding anything, though. We want to get this baseline solid and then work from there. This next one is the notice button. When you click on it, you can summon a menu that asks for notices or groups. If you are just generating your notice, you haven't sent out, you haven't prepared to send any notices yet, so you'd click notice. You can select a random design, or you can use the note cards of designs that are pre-set up and specifically pick one. In this case, I'm just gonna pick hearts. Enter a genre, and then enter a time. When you click submit after selecting the time, it will spit this out into chat. Right now you have to be careful. Anything that it converts like this or with groups. So, like for example, if I took my Bob's Boobs group and put the SURL in chat, it'll come out as the name of the group. I have discovered that there is something I can do to fix that so that when it whispers this information to you in local chat, that you won't have to putz around with right-clicking and copying the SURL and then pasting it into the note card. So there is a quality of life improvement there that is coming. Again, we gotta get the bugs kinked out first. So then what I would do, okay, I've got this notice, where do I send it? Well, most hosts have a whole slew of groups that they work with. I have included a list of the groups that I like to use and the groups that Sarah likes to use in your kit. And you can go through those, find ones that fit your vibe, join them, or, explore, see which ones are going to benefit you more. If you have a group that you want me to add to the master list, please let me know. I would be more than happy to share more resources so that we can get more amazing people out there with, like, top tier knowledge and top tier access to, what makes hosting great. Okay, so let's say I've gone ahead and I've made all my notices. And I've pasted my notice into the group. And I've sent them off. Now we're at the set. This is our shouts button. This talks to the venue. So, for example, this groups thing here, this gets whispered to you. Nobody sees that except you. This right here, the notice, that gets whispered to you. Nobody sees that except for you. When you click on that shouts button, it's going to shout out to the crowd. So I'm going to click shouts, and it's going to have some with a V, which is going to be in regards to venue, and it'll have some with a D, and that is DJ. So that is where those shouts originate from, and I'll show you those note cards once we get through all the buttons. If I click one, it'll shout out whatever I want said. You can create options so that there isn't like a robotic sound to the same, like every time I say, hey, tip my DJ, the exact same words, the exact same phrasing, that doesn't come off friendly and active and inviting. That comes off as passive. So if you vary up the types of words and the cadence and create a few options for the hood to choose from, it creates a more natural feel as you're going through your host set. The next one I want to talk about is the socials button. This one's really fun. This is the biggest bug we're having right now. Is that engine likes to run out of memory. If I click on socials and let's choose Goose, it's going to shout out whatever venue, social media links and information that you have in your venue note card and your DJ note card. And that design is configurable within the hood as well. The next button we have here is your giver button. So if you have application note cards that you want to hand out, or event posters that you want to hand out, if you have them, throw them in your hood, and then in your note card you can specify for applications use this note card, or for events use this image. And when you do that and you click on the applications, for example, it'll ask you who you want to send it to, and the options are everyone or a specific person. And once you say who you want to send it to, it'll just give them the note card. So you don't have to go digging around looking for the application to pass out to someone who's asking about it. Or when you're trying to promote hype for a set and want to hand out flyers, this is a great way to be able to do that, to just add to your advertising capabilities. This next button over here is your whisper button. This one is going to go through a few different changes before the end. So DJ Deets is your notes about your DJ. Let's see if I have any DJ Deets for Bal. Yep, DJ Deets. She prefers classic rock and 80s to 90s kind of music. She loves lots of interaction in local chat, and she likes to take requests. So, if I, don't host for her for a while, and then I come back and I look at my DJ Deets and I could go, oh yeah, alright, let's get back to, right where we were last time we stood on stage together. The gestures button is something that you can configure. I like using this for my DJ and venue gestures that I don't always remember what the command is. So we don't have very many good ones here, but like if I were to click mule, you'll get an example. If I wanted to trigger that particular gesture, I might not remember the code for it. It whispers the code to me at the click of a couple of buttons, just so that I can, just at hand, don't have to go digging for anything, don't need to look through menus. It's just cleaner. Now, if I were to just copy that or just type, there is the gesture. Emotes works similarly. Again, it whispers to you. So if I say blow kiss, and I want to say blow kiss to Trinket. Now, it says in here, here's your emote, copy and paste it in local chat to use it. /me, smiles and presses, painted lips to fingertips before blowing. Thank you, Trinket darling. This is something that I'm eventually going to turn into we're gonna add animations, and we're gonna add sparkly effects options instead of having your emotes typed out for you. But this does help if you're running low on time and need a randomized quick emote to throw out in the midst of everything you're doing while you're hosting. The next button is the tip jar button. This tip jar might be changing, it might not be. You can have it follow you, or you can have it stay where you are. The image is configurable per venue, so you can literally have a different picture for each venue on your tip jar if you want to. But it keeps track of the tips you get, the biggest tipper for that session. and it transfers the money to the owner of the hood. It's not super exciting, but it was a good, solid, complete build. And then when you're done with it, if you teleport away, it will clean itself up. It's set to auto-delete if you go too far away. You can also just click clean up, and that'll also take care of it. Then the dance button, which is one of my favorites. First you're presented with this, and you can have it'll pick any random dance in your hood, and it'll just keep playing random ones until you click stop. Note cards are for if you have a set of dances or a genre of dances or a theme of dances that you want to lump together. Or specific is I just want one animation to play on loop. So if I do note cards, in here there's only one, so I will go ahead and actually show you on my version of the hood, because I have my dances set up with my stuff. So my note cards, I have Metal Burlesque, Soda Pop, Wednesday, Erotic, Goth Club, and Goth Industrial. If I click Metal Burlesque, it'll ask me, do I want to randomize the items on the note card? Do I want to play one specific animation from the note card? This is for people who have hundreds of dances and just want to be able to filter it down. And then the ordered list of every dance that is in your hood, or in this case, in your note card. For every dance that is in your note card. If you click cancel, you'll get out of the menu. Back takes you back. We're going to click ordered, and you'll see it starts me dancing. When it starts me dancing, I have the ability to invite other people to dance with me. That is, let's go from here. So if I'll put my actual dance controller on, because so you have to put your dances in the hood. If your dances are no transfer, you need to res the hood on the ground before you will be able to put the dances in there. You want to put the dances in the hood, and you want to put the dances in your dance controller. Now the dance controller, here is my correct one. Oh, I am out of attachment points. Screw it. We're dancing at the moment. I don't need no AO. So I'll go ahead and add. And you'll notice nothing changed. That's because the dance controller is just an invisible sphere on your left shoulder. If someone clicks on your left shoulder, they will be prompted with a question of, do they want to dance? And then they should begin dancing the same dance that you are. And when you change dances, they will change dances with you. So you have the ability to do up to 20 additional dancers doing your same dance. The dance invite button is to send instructions to people. You can send it out in local chat, and it'll let you know, hey, I sent it all, and they will get a whisper privately saying, hey, if you want to dance with me, just click my left shoulder, and then it's /24 space stop as the default stop key, but they will also stop dancing if you leave the sim or they leave or things like that. And then these last two buttons here are the security and management buttons. For anyone that you set up in your venue note card as a manager or a security person, when you click those buttons, it will ping them in local chat saying, hey, this host at this set is having an issue. If you're available, can you please check in with them? It'll only go to a manager or a security person if they are online. If they're offline, it does not send anything. So you're not bugging anybody. And you also get a link to the people that were online in your local chat saying, hey, this person is online, they've been told you need help. Here's a quick button you can click to go to their IMs, which is a pretty sweet feature when you're not quite sure who's available to help you out at the club. Up next, I want to go through the note cards and things. So I'm gonna start by going through, let's go back to the one that is up to date. So dances is how you would set up your dances. Your dance note cards have to say dance underscore, and then whatever you want the name of your grouping of dances to be. Then just the exact name of the dance, one line per. And rather than typing it out, I recommend going to your dances. I'm just going to type Paragon and grab the first dance I see. Go to Properties, and then take this, copy, and paste. That way you get exactly the same name. If there is a capital wrong or an underscore or a space in the wrong place, it'll tell you that it can't find that animation. Make sure the animation is in the hood, and make sure it is also in your dance controller if you plan on sharing your dances. I'm going to go ahead and delete the change I made because that dance isn't actually in this note card, or in this hood, it's in my other one. Discard the changes there. And you can have as many of those dance note cards as you want. You can filter it and organize it however you want. Up next, we have the DJ template. And it's pretty straightforward. DJ name, whatever you want the hood to call your DJ. So if they are Daedra the Heartless, well, she doesn't use DJ Daedra the Heartless, she just does Daedra the Heartless. So you would put Daedra the Heartless. If you have, say, DJ Bob, I definitely do use the DJ in front, so you would put my name down as DJ Bob. Whatever you want the hood to call your DJ. This is the social medias that we have already set up with. There are a couple more that are going to be added into the next iteration. If I can get just like a massive list of any possible social media that you use to advertise for your DJs, your hosts, like their work, let me know. I know I've got ones that are missing. I want to add Patreon and shit in this as well, so the DJs who have Patreons can also kind of plug that on the side. But again, next iteration. Then we have our quick shouts. Anything you put here in the quick shouts is what comes out of these buttons. Tip remind is going to be this coin speaker button. Record DJ is going to be your record. Heart DJ is going to be your heart. Music notes and coin. So whatever you put on these lines, when you click this button, if this note card is the active note card, it will shout out into local chat whatever you want as your name. So it's not shouting as the hosthood. It is specifically changing it to be your name. Then we have the shouts. There's a specific format to it, but this is for those lovely people who were like, if I have something like that, I'm going to need 10, 20, 30 buttons. You can go ham and make as many shout buttons as you want, and just name them the same as you see here. So shout underscore is required, and then whatever the name you want for the button, equal sign, and then whatever you want shouted out. And that will pull up when you click the shout button and look at that menu where there's the V's for venue and D's for DJ. The emote and gesture buttons are where you can set up more of your emotes and your gestures. If you have stuff that you want to add into your brand and have easy access to, those two buttons are kind of like a stealth on the ready sort of thing. And then the last one is how you set up your DJ deets. You can have an infinite number of DJ deets. Every time you add a new line, you're going to want to do DJ deets underscore and then the next number. And that will help it know what order to spit them out in. Alright, the venue note card is next. Let me actually, no, we're going to work our way down. So we did the DJ stuff. We did the group notices. I have a bunch of free, silly, terrible dances in here. Go ahead and feel free to delete those. It's just like freebies that I've had since I was a nooblet and stuff that might help others. I have these two resource note cards. These are just resources. There we go. It's just got a ton of different designs that you can pull from, and you can use those designs to create more styles to your personal setup. A good example of this is my notice goose note card. So notice underscore is going to be what you use to show a notice. When you're building that notice from the exclamation point, it's going to ask you what style do you want, and these are the styles. Goose will show up. It replaces these variables in the output. So you always want to put the variables in so it draws from your active club and your active DJ. If there is a line on here that doesn't exist in the DJ note card or doesn't have any values configured for it. So I know a lot of Second Life DJs who do not have a Twitch. Some do. If you have a note card loaded with the Twitch, like that has a Twitch, it will fill in that value for you when you generate your notice. However, If that DJ does not have a Twitch, that line just gets skipped. It doesn't go into the output, so it's thinking smart about reducing your clutter while still being as expansive and open as it can be. Okay. Notice schedule _me is one of my favorites. And again, we're going to switch over to my personal note card for the schedule. Just because that one's actually set up. Where'd we go? There we are. I can read. So you have a lot of ways to work with this. If you do not care about having a clickable link to the venue, you do not have to tie it to a venue note card. You can put, like, you can leave that space empty, or you can put, like, placeholder text in there. If it doesn't match a venue note card, it's just not going to give you a clickable link in your chat when it gives you your updates. Not a big deal. The day of the week can be done full, like, name of the day, or it can be done shortened, however you want to deal with that. After that, we have the time of the set in Second Lifetime, the venue where that set is supposed to be, or meeting if you're using the schedule system for meetings. And then this last part where I say DJ name, this is just something to fill in. So it's notes, it's who are you working with, it's whatever you want to help you remember what you're supposed to be doing. That is your note for when those reminder pings go off. 2 hours before your set, you will get a notice saying, hey, you've got 2 hours and you're gonna have a set at this location, and here's your notes, or here's your DJ for that set. Okay, fairly straightforward. And then the social is again smartly set up so that if you create a note card that's all pretty and stylized, that, like, is the perfect essence of you, but they don't have everything in that note card, it will skip over the ones that are empty in your DJ and venue note card. But if it's there, it'll catch the variable and it will replace that variable with the values from the note card, or from the menu that pops down when you're doing your notices, that kind of thing. The tip jar is hosted inside of the item. If you replace this with something that is all lowercase, TIP, JAR, no spaces, nothing, it'll sort of work. It'll res it out, but there's some scripts inside that tip jar that help keep it clean. So I would actually recommend working with me if the tip jar feature isn't working out for you, so that I can make it better. Finally, I've got my venue note cards to go over with you, and then I'm going to wrap it up here and ask people if they need more in-depth information on how it works or any particular features. So venue name, again, whatever you want the thing to be called. On Parched Land, it's called Club Perch on like yeah, these are specific to your venue. These ones are the social medias for your venue, like if they have a Facebook, if they have a prim feed, whatever it is that they want you to be advertising, get their link, get their information, and plug it in here. The SURL value, please eliminate the L anytime you see that L in SURL, so SL URL. The hood is supposed to recognize either way, but it doesn't work all the time, and so I'm just trying to standardize and make sure it just does SURL. You may have to save that in your hood because I did not make that change before I sent it out. This is where you add in the name of the note card for applications or the UUID for any images that you want to use. If you have the UUID for the image, it does not have to be in the hood, but it is, I mean, in my opinion, good practice to just kind of have everything at fingertip touch. So I like to throw that kind of stuff inside of mine anyhow, even if it's not necessary. You can always delete stuff out of your hood when it's no longer relevant to you. Next up we have the venue quick shouts. That is these buttons here, the record, the heart, the note, and the coin. And again, you can make different variations separated by a set of double pipes. So like if I were to load this venue template up in my host hood and I were to click the coin button right now for the venue, it would decide between here and here, and it will pick one of those and it'll shout it out. Venue shout buttons work the exact same as the DJ shout buttons. It's just separated so that you always have access to your specific venue ones, even when you've got a different DJ. Your manager and security use their UUIDs and separate by comma to add to the list. Yep, the venue and emotes and gestures are the end of it. This is kind of just an overview. I think at some point I'm going to try and like actually use the hood during a host session and record that, but we'll see how that goes. This is DJ Bob and I'm going to pass the fuck out.